Hi, everybody, and welcome to the course of World History. I am your host, Mr. Samuelson, and today we are looking at a lesson on the artistic Ottomans, a dive into the art and culture of the Ottoman Empire as a part of our continuing look at gunpowder empires. So, our essential question today is, in what ways did the Ottoman Empire contribute to the arts? So, first, we're going to set the stage for why the Ottomans were able to contribute so much, and that ties into the Pax Ottomana. During the expansion of the Ottoman Empire from 1453 to 1683, there was this period of relative internal peace. Certainly along the borders, there was a lot of conflict, particularly against the Safavids. There was conflict in Europe. There was conflict around the edges. But the interior of the empire was relatively safe from threat, from external foes. And in this situation, culture can really flourish. So this period of internal peace, the Pax Ottomana, really sees an explosion of the arts and culture within the empire. So again, another look at the empire itself. So again, around the edges, certainly conflict. We've learned about that. But internal, particularly around Constantinople, relative peace, security, wealth, prosperity, culture. So let's look at the culture itself. The Ottoman Empire is this multi-ethnic empire. It absorbs a lot of cultural practices of a lot of different people. It does occupy the same rough territory as the Byzantine Empire had, absorbing a lot of Byzantine culture and practices. Also, although Constantinople was never a part of the Umayyad Caliphate, a lot of the Ottoman territory does overlap with these great Islamic empires in the past. So they start to mix all of these, Turkic, the Ottoman Turks, Turkic practices with Byzantine practices, with Islamic, Arabic practices, and create this blend that is uniquely Ottoman. Intercultural marriages also happened a lot, which brought about a lot of cultural tolerance as the Ottomans kind of became their own thing. And this accelerates the process, right? Anytime you have cultural intolerance, your culture stagnates. Anytime you have cultural tolerance, you've got the blending, you're able to create something that is uniquely yours. Ottoman literature. Literature in the Ottoman Empire was mostly poetry. They steered largely clear of novels, short stories, that sorts of things, and really focused on poetry. Now, Ottoman poetry uses a lot of symbolism that is meant to convey potential meanings, and prose, when written, was highly influenced by French literature. Now, you may be thinking, French literature? France is way off in Europe. They don't border the Ottoman Empire. How would French literature come into play? And here you have to remember the Crusader states, right? During the Crusades, the French largely came over and occupied for 100 years places along the coast of Western Asia, along the Mediterranean Sea. And so there was even a French influence within the Ottoman Empire. Architecture. Architecture is probably where the Ottomans are most known. It is their fullest and most lasting reflection of their artistic skill. The Ottomans here really blend Persian, that's Iranian, Safavid cultures, Greek cultures, Islamic features, and again created something that is uniquely Ottoman. The most well-known examples of the architecture here are their mosques. We can see the exterior of a mosque right here. Here would be the interior of the Blue Mosque. We're about to see the exterior of that one, which is this piece right here. So this is that distinct blending of a lot of different cultures that created something that was uniquely Ottoman. Decorative arts was another contribution of the Ottoman Empire. They usually did try to create artwork that had a functional purpose. Okay, so this is artwork that can be used for something. Calligraphy was one of kind of the premier artistic skills within the empire. This is artistic handwriting, added to decorations for religious purposes or for personal purposes. for poetry itself or beautiful writings that went up in mosques. Frequently seeing writing attached to carpets, too, which was another one of the Ottoman traits. Here is a fine example of a silk woven carpet done within the Ottoman Empire. And this carpet, this patterning within the empire, it became kind of a tradition, a fad, to create these footstools that would include the woven carpets right on them, making this very fancy embroidered footstool. The very name of this type of footstool carries the name of the empire. We simply call these Ottomans. Performing arts. A solid foundation in classical music was a part of the education of the Ottoman elite. So if you were raised in a wealthy or royal family within the empire, it was expected that you had a musical education. That was a part of what the elite was expected to know. The instruments themselves, being that the Ottoman Empire was this bridge between Eastern and Western societies, we saw a blending of the musical styles of both Europe and the Middle East to create, again, a very distinct Ottoman style music. Shadow plays were very popular. These could be seen in the houses of the wealthy and can also be seen in street corners throughout the empire. We would have finely carved figurines pressed up against a sheet so that on the other side, when lit, we could see the characters themselves. And this would appear to be like an animation as the characters acted out scenes in a play. Science and technology. Ottomans worked really hard to collect and translate ancient books. They had a firm belief in learning and building upon the knowledge of past societies. And through this study, they came to understand the ancient sciences and to build upon them to advance new sciences. By the 1600s, the Ottomans really did have a much better understanding of medicine and astronomy and many other areas of the sciences than Europeans had. And keep in mind, 1600s, we're well into the Renaissance, but the Ottomans are still ahead of Europeans in most areas of science. Well, that is all we have for today. I hope that you learned something and enjoyed today's lesson, and I will see you next time. Farewell.